All right, hi third graders, welcome back for the chapter called Training Camp. Thanks to all of those of you who shared your thoughts. It sounds like a lot of you think he's going to find his some pain of his own, especially Molly. Molly wrote pain in all cap letters that she thinks he's going to experience. So let's find out in chapter 8, Training Camp. We headed for my house, training camp. Joey was my coach. First, he said that crybaby stuff. Gotta go. How? I said. You still have your ET, don't you? Sure. My parents had given me the videotape movie for my birthday. I'll bet you start bawling every time ET dies at the end, don't you? Well, follow me. We stuck my movie E.T. in the player and ran it at fast forward to where E.T. dies at the end. Or everybody thinks he dies. As usual, the waterworks came on. My eyes and cheeks were running like Niagara Falls. Joey punched rewind, stop, play. He died again. I cried again. And so it went, time after time, until on the 22nd try, Joey ran his fingertip across my cheek and nodded, dry. He turned on the light and got in my face like a doctor. Your eyes are a little watery, but nothing's coming out of them. He held out his hand. You're on your way, rat. I gave him a high five. Next was spiders. Joey found one, trapped it in a paper cup, and brought it to me. I was sweating and shaking. Hold out your hand, he said. I can't, I told him. You want Judy Billings to like you or not? What if it's a black widow? I shuddered. It's not. Or a tarantula. It's a little white house spider. Now hold out your hand. I can't. It won't move. Joey made it move. He grabbed my hand and dumped the spider onto it. He was right. It was just a little white house spider, but to me it looked like a tarantula. I screamed and flipped it away. When we got to the 9th little white house spider, I was still flipping out, but I was doing it quieter. Joey sighed. Well, at least we got rid of the scream. He clapped his hands. Okay, now up to the roof. No, I said. Move, he said. I went upstairs like I was walking to the gallows. Even more than spiders, I'm scared of high places. Joey steered me to my bedroom window, and he made me open it. Out, he said. No, I said. Outside my window is the roof of our front porch. No way, I said, and I sat right down on my bed. I finally agreed to do it under 2 conditions. 1, I take off my shoes and socks to get a better grip on the roof. 2, we tie me to a rope. We tied the other end of the rope to my bed. Good and tight, the other end went around my arms and my chest. I climbed out, and I sat on my windowsill. Out, he said, to the edge. I lowered myself from the windowsill, and I sat on the roof. I dug my fingers and toes and my rear end into the shingles. I inched forward. My heart felt like an exploding football in my chest. I was halfway to the edge when the sidewalk below started to get really wavy. Then, everything kind of got fuzzy. And everything was turning around and upside down like the inside of a clothes dryer. Next thing I knew, I was hanging off the roof of the porch, swinging in the air above the front steps. Just then, Zipper Nose, my sister, came out. The look on her face said it all. I'm imagining I see my brother hanging from the roof. I'm just imagining. Call somebody, I told her. Get me down from here. She half turned, ready to obey me for the first time in her life. Then she spotted my feet. My bare feet. Just hanging there. This time the look on her face said, I may never get this chance again as long as I live. She rushed me. She grabbed my legs in a bear hug and started tickling the bottoms of my feet. We, the Morton family, are a ticklish family. Extremely. By the time my mother finally came out and chased Zipper Nose off and got me down, I was about dead from laughing. For my next test, Joey led me to the little kids' playground at the park. What are we doing here? I asked him. You'll see, he said. We waited, watching the little kids. After a while, Joey said, You hungry? A little, I said. For a Twinkie? Yeah! Spongy cake, creamy inside, I love them. Go for it, said Joey. He pointed to a little kid. He was eating a Twinkie with one hand, and the other hand held another Twinkie. He don't need two, Joey whispered. I can't. Take care of number one, man. I can't. Judy Billings, Judy Billings. The kid was starting to walk past us. I reached out, and I snatched the uneaten Twinkie. The kid screamed bloody murder. I shoved the Twinkie back in his hand and took off. Last test, last chance. We hung around my room, waiting for my mother to ask me to do something. When she does, Joey said, you know what to say. Sure enough, pretty soon my mom showed up. Suds, she said, will you excuse yourself from Joey long enough to empty your garbage can, please? Silence. Joey waiting, my mother waiting, Judy Billings waiting somewhere, the whole world waiting. I couldn't stand it. Maybe if she hadn't smiled, maybe if she hadn't said please. Okay, Mom, I said. As soon as my mother left the room, Joey gave me a disgusting grunt. He pointed to my one-eyed teddy bear. I guess you're not going to throw that baby thing away either, are you? I looked at the bear and then looked at him in shock. No, I didn't think so, he sneered. Better forget it, Morton. You'll never make it as a rat. He got up and left. I emptied my trash can. I figured he was right. I figured I was dumping my chances with Judy Billings out with the garbage. But what I didn't figure on was what happened Monday at school. That chapter is called You Want a Rat? So, if you think you know what happens Monday at school, or you have a prediction, send me an email. Talk to you then.